What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Stack Show. You recognize me, you recognize this other handsome guy, but who's this third most handsomest man in all the land that's joining?
That's me. That's Bird Flip. How's everybody doing?
We got our boy Adam Simecka on today, and we're stoked for you to be here, man.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I love being with you guys. You guys are a bunch of fun. It's the
Thanks
best
for joining.
best Bitcoin show on the internet, by the way. I love it.
You heard it here first. We were just talking
Man,
about that last week. Like we're always asking the hard questions, What's the price of Bitcoin going to be in like a week from today? And so that's really what we put our head down and just get our predictions wrong every single week. It's kind of become a tradition
yeah,
That's why we're here.
60% of the time we've been right, 100% of the time.
every time. Every time. So what's up, man? How's everything going? How you feeling today? What's top of mind?
I'm feeling good today. I don't really have any particular reason other than, Bitcoin keeps tick-tocking, next blocking.
Yeah.
Oh, what is this?
What is that,
Tick-tock,
dude?
next block. Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Nice.
I
Mhm.
didn't even plan that. But yeah. I don't know. I think that this general sentiment is pretty interesting right now. A lot of people are, obviously pretty caught up in short-term price action and letting that get them down. But I think all in all, we're in pretty good shape. Pretty good shape, boys.
Yeah, man.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I mean, it's hard to argue with. I mean, if you've been around long enough, you just understand that this is a part of Bitcoin. I'm curious if, I mean, like anyone that you're talking to, like, running a Mana wallet, do you see like a lot of newcomers to Bitcoin, people that were curious before that are kind of adopting it and using Mana? Um, or do you just feel like we've kind of stagnated there in terms of getting new, regular folks, plebs into Bitcoin?
I can add a little bit to that. Don't have a ton of insight just because tracking things in a self-custodial, privacy-focused wallet are pretty difficult.
Yep.
But I can see things like, activity and how much people are using the app and things like that. And, people that are downloading it from the app stores, what countries they're from and things like that. One thing that's interesting to me is when I think when the price goes down, there tends to be a little bit less activity, but it's hard for me to see that because Mana is so new that it's, growing very quickly anyway. But it does seem to have slower growth when the price is down. And that the primary reason I think is if I'm looking at like the demographics of where the downloads are coming from, that mostly applies to like first world nations, so to speak, like US primarily. But when you look at people that are using the platform in other countries, it tends to not matter at all.
Mm,
And I think that's really cool.
yeah.
In fact, it may even have a negative correlation where people that are using Bitcoin wallets to facilitate medium of exchange payments, they're not so caught up in all the hype of what the news cycle is pushing on them. So I think that's some signal there.
That's cool. That's great to hear.
Go ahead,
Very great to hear.
Garrett Flip. You got to follow up. It looked like I get a little too excited
No,
sometimes. I want to.
that's good. I'm just saying that's great to hear. And I mean, I think that's the sentiment for Bitcoin. Yeah, it's in the shitter, but if you're stacking sats every week, like this is great. Like, could we please stay at 100 or less for a year? That would be great. That would be a gift.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get that gift, but I'm all for it. I'm with you.
I
Well,
thought we
I know.
were.
I
I
mean,
thought we were. It looked like for a moment there when we dipped below 100, I was like, all right, like let's go. I can live in this
70s.
new reality. Let's bring it to the 70s. But after this little rebound, I think Adam's right. I don't think that I don't know. I don't think that we spend an extended amount of time sub six figures anymore.
Yeah.
I,
Y-
I was just gonna say I don't know if it's something you guys are paying attention to, and I know this is a strictly Bitcoin show, but I it is related, and I feel like it's something worth mentioning. But Stretch STRC, are you guys watching or paying attention to that at all?
Yeah. Can you send your shares to your cold card?
You cannot. So,
No.
for the record, I've never advocated any Bitcoiner by stretch, but it is interesting to see because of the mechanisms of how it works. Essentially once it hits par value, which it basically just did this week,
Yeah,
all of the extra money goes into Bitcoin. So
right.
it's a security provided by Strategy, aka MicroStrategy. But the switch just flipped. And so what that means is there's a lot of new capital being unlocked. Obviously, this is all in the TradFi world, right? We're not talking, plebs buying Bitcoin. We're talking about, public companies
Yep.
adding, paper Bitcoin, so to speak. But it does put arguably a lot of buy pressure on Bitcoin. So the timing's interesting.
Tell me more about that. Like, why is the timing interesting, and why is this significant for any Bitcoiner to really be?
Because you could sell 2 Bitcoin, drop 200K into Stretch and get paid 20K a month. That's why people like it.
Yeah, that is one reason. I think if you're in that category, you and I need to have a talk.
I'm
Reach
not
out to me on X. No, I'm not you.
I'm
I'm
not in
just
that
saying, like,
category.
anybody watching, like, yeah, if you think you want to sell Bitcoin and get stretched just so that you can have some stable income, uh, let me know, and I will convince you otherwise.
Yeah, I agree,
If
man. I think if this is for the institutions, this is for the big
yeah,
guys. And you're right. This is Sailor, filling up his bag. And the US looking, smiling, saying, "Hey, great job, son. You're doing exactly what you want. More Bitcoin held up, custodianed in the US. That's what they want."
yeah. On a separate note, some interesting subjects that we could get into, but Josh Mandel has
Hmm.
recently been saying that the United States is about to buy MSTR. I don't know how much
Yes,
truth there is to
of
that,
course.
but
Well, maybe they won't, but yeah, of course they will. Look, they bought a 10% stake in Intel, and then they bought a whole bunch of other companies. So yeah, they're going to buy MicroStrategy. I
yeah, I
mean,
think it's a logical
this,
move.
yeah, like come on, they're going to make it the crypto capital of the world.
And Adam, weren't you just talking about Robinhood, talking about Adam or adding a Bitcoin treasury? And if that happens, the floodgates kind of just open up dramatically.
Yeah, I think so. So I have a theory that one of the reasons that strategy got passed up on S&P 500 inclusion was, and I put a lot of weight into this, that the committee is just a little bit unsure of the Bitcoin treasury strategy, and they're perceiving that as a lot of additional risk. I don't think that that's a controversial thing to say. I think a lot of people would agree that that's probably one of the primary reasons why they didn't get included, because they qualified on a technical level. And so Robinhood actually was one of the companies that was included in the most recent round of approvals. So the reason why I say Robinhood is important and a key thing to look at is because they just got in. They
Yep.
didn't have a Bitcoin treasury strategy, and they may in the near future. And if that happens, then it pretty much invalidates any of the concerns that the committee may have had for Bitcoin treasury strategy companies.
Mm.
And yes, there are other companies in the S&P 500 that have Bitcoin in their treasuries, but these are mature countries, companies, my goodness. And it's not like a new thing, and they're not
Yeah.
recently included into the S&P 500. So again, it's more of a theory than anything, but I think if Robinhood, before the next round of assessment, if they, update their business to reflect what I think helped build their company was this Bitcoin and digital asset mindset, by embracing a more concrete treasury strategy. I think that that is a very good argument that the S&P 500 inclusion committee would include strategy.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it's oh goodness. I think great for America, right? We have more Bitcoin. But for regular folks around the world who could be set free by having some sats, it just gets harder and harder and harder. The window closes tighter. America continues its dominance, which hey, if you live here, that's good for you, right? But at the same time, like Bitcoin is meant to set everybody free, and people are just, asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll say if you play fiat games, you win fiat prizes. the answer is to just buy real Bitcoin. If you're watching this show
Mhm.
and you're wondering which path to take, don't mess with any of that fiat garbage. Just buy real Bitcoin, buy the real thing. You can do that, and it's actually probably easier.
So you think
Or
that the price is going to be kind of rocketing up here because of all of these factors that are sort of under the radar at the moment?
I think the value of the US dollar is going to crash no matter what happens.
yeah,
Sure. But what you're
Yeah.
talking about, I mean, but that could be 10 years, right? I mean, it's crashed 40% in the last year, 99% over the last 50 years or whatever since the 70s. Um, but it'll still be around. It'll still be around. It just will be worthless and it'll take a shitload to buy anything.
Yeah, since you asked, the direct answer to that question is I don't think we've hit the big part of the uptick for the bull market this time around. I think we've got some pretty big green candles to climb in the near future.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's good news for Ladarius. He left us a voice DM.
Oh, Ladarius. Let's
I got four. We got one from Crypto Carl.
Crypto Carl as well. I don't know if we've heard from him yet. Is he
We have not.
first time memo?
All right.
I don't know.
Here's our boy.
Thomas, man. Shoot,
Can't hear
sitting here with my chicken pot pie, looking at
it.
my Bitcoin stack. But man, the price don't went down because this Bitcoin thing anymore. It's just going up and it goes down. It's a lot to stomach, bro. But just fitting to ask y'all what y'all think the price of Bitcoin gonna do in the next shoot, was it the next month, the next 2 months maybe? Because if it ain't going up, I might be getting just y'all feel me. Anyway, I didn't do nothing yet with my stack. I'm waiting on y'all to let me know what y'all think I should do. All right.
Y'all hear that?
Ladarius asking as he's eating some chicken pot pie and sounds like going having a pretty rough week, but I can't be that rough of a week if you're eating chicken pot pie. That's just,
That's true. Silver lining right there.
great silver lining around the chicken pot pie as well. So a little not there, but
It's
not that I
true.
would know. I haven't eaten a chicken pot pie recently at all, but uh yeah, I mean, Ladarius is asking what the price of Bitcoin is going to do in November, and it's going up, it's going down. My advice to Ladarius would just be forget about what the price is going to do in a month or two and just keep stacking as much Bitcoin as you can and don't think about
Yeah.
even touching it for, 5 or 10 years, as long as you can go. Uh,
Yeah.
what do you guys think?
No, you said it, man. All right, let's see what Carl says.
Yo, this is Crypto Carl from Colorado. Yeah, it's a state shaped like a rectangle because my geography hodls straight lines. I gotta confess, I finally told my wife about my Bitcoin stack. She said, "Honey, is that why the thermostat's set to 68 and we're eating ramen?" I said, "Babe, that's called strategic energy allocation. Satoshi didn't die for 72-degree comfort." But real talk, I tried paying for groceries with BTC. The cashier scanned my phone, mining invoice popped up, and then the app crashed. 30 seconds of silence. She goes, "Sir, your bread's getting cold." I'm like, "Ma'am, in 4 years, this transaction will be legendary." Put that on a coffee mug. Quick prediction. When the ETF inflows hit $1 trillion, Elon's going to tweet a Shiba Inu wearing a Bitcoin chain, and my wife will finally let me turn the heat to 70. Stack sats, stay humble, and never let your mempool fill with regret. Carl out.
All right. Pretty
Adam?
based.
Oh man, poor guy. Yeah, it sounds like he needs to do some more orange pilling with his wife. There's a really good YouTube podcast out there called The Stack Show. He should probably get her on board. Subscribe.
That's right. That's right. I thought you were going to actually talk about Matthew Cratter. I didn't even think about the Stack Show. My mind went right to Matthew Cratter. And if you're watching this, you should subscribe to Matthew Cratter, who is like the fucking best. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Uh, and to us. Uh, but
Yeah. We're in a different category.
listen, we have more memos coming through, or we just got
Yeah,
those.
you want to hear? I have two more. Give me
Okay.
1 second. Let me pull these up.
Hi, guys. I really enjoy your relaxed podcast. Most Bitcoin shows I listen to are hype 24/7, and it's cool hearing from a couple regular plebs. Keep it up.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Just and then here's the last one.
Hey guys, I look forward to watching the Stack Show on YouTube every week. Keep up the good work.
Very good. Wow, these sound like very authentic, real fans
We're
subscribing.
getting just yeah, we're just getting normal ones now.
Definitely real people. Thank you, all the real people.
Yeah, I don't know about those last two. They sounded like they might have been AI.
No, those sounded
Oh,
real.
no,
Those
no.
sounded pretty real.
Okay.
Don't get in the
Oh
way of the
no.
bot strategy here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those were all real.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen, I do want to pivot. I kind of want to go back if we don't mind. There's a few things that I wanted to ask Adam about. Um, the first, which is we were talking about the institutional adoption of Bitcoin, and it's interesting as all these, big Bitcoin treasury announcements are coming out, and you're talking about adding Bitcoin treasury companies to the S&P. But today, a Samurai dev, Keon Rodriguez, he was sentenced to 5 years. So that's the max that he would have seen, 5 years in prison, 250K in fines, I believe. And it's just an interesting juxtaposition between like the uh, dialogue you see from like the Trump administration about America being a Bitcoin capital and all its adoption, while at the same time we've got this attack on privacy, and it's worrisome to me, and that is like the most important thing, like the ability to self-custody your Bitcoin and to be able to send it to anybody in the world privately and to take measures to protect your privacy. And it's disconcerting to say the least that we would see this type of sentence come down on him for code. So Adam, I'm just curious, like to hear your perspective on this, and maybe you could also highlight a bit of what's going on with Manna. I mean, it's a seamless, on-chain, self-custodied wallet, amazing, smooth product. Everyone seems to love it. And if there's any, not to put you in any hot water, but just if there's any concern from your end as well about this kind of oversight and attack on privacy that we're seeing.
Yeah. Man, where do I start on that? First of all, it's really just sad and disappointing to see such a, noble cause end in tragedy. Um, and I say noble cause because I truly believe that, privacy is something that should be preserved and supported and promoted. And, to that end, I'll also say, there is nothing illegal about preserving privacy in itself. Privacy in itself is absolutely a protected right in the United States. What it appears to me that happened is the reason why, in my opinion, I'm not an attorney. This is my interpretation, but my interpretation is the reason why they ended up on the wrong side of this is because it was presumed that they were actively aiding illegal activities, right? So whether or
And that
not
mostly came from like their Twitter account, right? I mean,
yeah,
they were sort of being flippant and joking around, and
I think so.
it seemed like that's what caught them. That's what got them into hot water.
Right. So again, it's my opinion that, the code itself isn't necessarily what they got them on. It was more, what they were saying about it, right? If you are actively developing tools to help people do illegal things, which is, I think, what they were basically saying about the Samurai devs, is that they were actively doing that, then, you're really risking getting some scrutiny and getting a target on your back.
Yeah, you're
So
poking the
with that,
bear. You're
you're
poking the bear
poking
for
the bear.
sure.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that there's anything.
I agree.
I
Yeah, you
don't know
should
if
be
I
able to poke the
really.
bear.
Yeah, I certainly poke the bear on many occasions too, but when it comes to this specific subject, it's definitely a fine line, and I make like I'm just glad like that I have an example to learn from. I'm not glad that those guys ended up getting the book. But and I wish it would have turned out differently. And hopefully, maybe the administration steps in and does something about it. Maybe we could see a pardon or something like we did for Ross Ulbricht. That'd be cool. I'm
Yeah.
not counting on it, but hopefully something like that happens. But I'll say, like, from my perspective in my seat, I make a huge effort to very vocally uh, say that we don't support any illegal activities on Manna, right? We never promote any form of illicit activity, money laundering, any of that. And if you're going to do illegal stuff, go do it somewhere else. So that's that. Manna's obviously has a lot of wonderful privacy features too, but people are always going to desire privacy, especially in Bitcoin. We need privacy in Bitcoin because if you just transact on layer one, say from your cold storage, you're sharing a lot of your own private financial data with other people. And if
100%,
you're not
dude.
using, yeah, if you're not using any form of privacy, that's a really bad idea. Because, let's say I wanted to make a payment to Greer for one of his awesome bird flip hats. Then I am going to send a transaction out of my cold storage or whatever to him, and he can see all the UTXOs that that's associated with. He could basically see how much Bitcoin I have to some degree.
Dude, that's
So,
happened. Not for any reason that I wanted, because I don't care what anyone's stack is, but people have done that. And you're right, you
yeah,
got to learn how to use Bitcoin privately. And I mean, you got to have a cold wallet, and you got to have a spending wallet. That's the other thing. You got to have a little bit of Bitcoin that you can use to spend. But you're
yeah, I
right.
agree. I'm all for spending Bitcoin. That's the whole purpose of why we built Mana, is
Yeah,
to allow people to spend and not have to think about privacy, right? It's just all
right.
automatic. We basically built it in a way where you can't even use it without, getting all this awesome privacy included. So,
It sounds
um,
like what may be a good call to action for anyone listening that wants to buy some bird flip gear. Download Mana, send some of your Bitcoin self-custody to the Mana wallet, and then from there, use it to purchase some bird flip merch and just get a sense of what that process feels like. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with how seamless and easy and privacy preserving that's going to be for you.
Yeah, you know what? I'll even say it's a 10% off. I'll create a code after this episode, so it'll be live when this goes up. 10% for anyone that uses the code MANA.
I love it.
And we'll
awesome. Thank you.
just keep that ongoing.
Adam, to that,
Uh,
ever hear any about any more developments you got going on with Mana?
yeah. So recent announcement we just made. We hired a new lead product manager. And so there's only so much I can say on that, but if I were just speculating, from the outside and I see new product manager, I might be thinking new products as well too. So no formal official announcement on that, but there may be some cool things that we're working on behind the scenes that we're hoping to launch pretty soon. And I could not be more excited to announce when that time is right.
When
Would you
you're
say
ready to
that's under?
announce it, we'll have to get you back on and we can do
Yeah.
a whole video. Maybe
Hey,
you walk us through what this product or something else might be. We're not going to point to any.
I will commit right now. I will do an official launch on the Stack Show if you
Let's
guys
go,
want it.
baby.
Hell
I'll do
yeah.
the
Let's go.
first the
Hell yeah.
first announcement here on the Stack Show.
I love it, man. Okay, you'll keep us posted then. That sounds super
That's
exciting.
exciting.
Cool.
I,
Yeah, but sorry. Anyway, I was just gonna keep rambling. What did you have, Phil?
I was gonna. There's a couple different things. I don't know if maybe I'll just throw out some different topics that I thought would be interesting. A few different things I saw you tweet about, Adam. The first one is the whole lava situation with the Bitcoin loan kind of thing, and I wanted to hear your perspective on like the how valid DLCs are. is it a viable, scalable option for, two parties locking Bitcoin into an on-chain escrow and, not having any intermediary into, uh, what that kind of loan looks like. We can go into that. I also want to maybe hear about the Kami Mamdani winning in New York, and we can just riff on that a little bit. So, I mean, I'll give you the two options there, and you can select what you want to go with first.
New Yorkistan. Let's do that.
Yeah, I guess we could start with like the lava stuff, or the lending more broadly in general. I will just say, when it comes to giving anybody your Bitcoin, be really careful. Um, don't do it flippantly if you do it at all. I don't necessarily even advise anybody uses these products, but if you assess everything and you read all the terms and you feel like it's okay with this sizable amount that you're wanting to take, go ahead and do it. But just understand you're giving up your keys. So Lava is a Bitcoin-backed loan service. At least that's the main product that I know of that they offer right now. They also offer the opposite side of that trade, so you could like stake your fiat, so to speak, and they give you a yield. And I will just say, like on the surface, it seems great. It seems almost too good to be true. I did a lava loan today.
Oof.
I wanted to try it out just so that I could have an educated opinion on it.
Sure. I
Because
saw
a
that.
lot of people are asking me about it. I did the same thing with Strike. But I wanted to be able to speak to this in an educated manner because I've more or less kind of advocated against it for so long, and people are like, no, it's fine, you don't know what you're talking about. So I figured, let's go ahead and just try out the product. And if I lose some Bitcoin over the whole deal, it was a good educational process.
Mhm.
But
Oof.
where we're at here with Lava, I'll just say I know that there are also some questions, especially as you bring up the DLC, so the discrete log contracts, I think is what you're referring to, and how these contracts essentially communicate with each other in like a decentralized way. As far as I know, there's some question about how Lava's actually doing that. I'm not going to make any claims on that specifically because I don't know the full details, but I've heard people questioning whether or not that's even taking place.
Mm.
So I treat this as a fully custodial, fully centralized lending platform. And I think as long as you do that and you understand that, they're holding your Bitcoin and they have full control over it, then maybe it's okay to look into. Again, I can't make a decision for anybody other than myself, but I'll just say Bitcoin-backed loans should probably be one of the last options that you should consider if you want to use your Bitcoin. My preference for most people is to just use your Bitcoin as money. The first option is go find somebody that accepts Bitcoin. I know for sure that Greer will accept your Bitcoin for some of his merch.
I will.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, dude.
so go find somebody who wants to take your Bitcoin and give it to them. That's the
I
first
bought
option.
a yeah, I bought the Genesis issue of Bitcoin Art Magazine, with my
Oh,
Bitcoin.
nice.
Yeah,
Noah,
45
right?
bucks. I don't know when it comes out. That's the only thing. That part's a mystery to me. But it's a cool project.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great. I'll be excited when I get it. And yeah, I mean, $45, you know, it's a great way to spend a little Bitcoin, help out some Bitcoiners, and I could just replace my stack.
Yeah, I think
Spend
that's
and
awesome.
replace. Yeah.
That's what I'm all about, man. Just like I think it's important to go do business with people that align with your principles. And that, I mean, this could be applied to Bitcoin or anything else, but specifically when it comes to Bitcoin, is you're going to give business to somebody who's benefiting the Bitcoin economy, benefiting the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you go buy something from a Bitcoiner, they're probably going to hold some, most, or all of the Bitcoin that you give them. For example, Steak and Shake just came out and said that they're going to hold the Bitcoin that gets spent on their food. So you
Yep.
can actually go build a treasury for a company that's in Bitcoin, and they're not even going to spend it. They're not going to sell it. They're just going to keep it. They're going to hodl it forever. So yeah, when it comes to actually using your Bitcoin, my first option is just go spend Bitcoin with Bitcoiners. If you must, sell it for dollars and then go use your dollars. And then, in my opinion, the third option would be to do something like a Bitcoin backed loan. But again, that's not my preference.
I think the loan is risky because it indicates that you don't have cash flow. And so you need to use your Bitcoin to get cash flow. For me, it's like a Bitcoin backed loan means you have cash flow and you're just using their money for a brief period of time. But that's not like a solution to your problems. You know, you're much better off, like you said, selling the Bitcoin, paying off your debt, getting more Bitcoin. You know, hey, if it stays at 100 for another year or however long, like you can still make up the money that you've spent. I feel like the loans, take out a loan, kiss your Bitcoin goodbye.
Mhm.
Another thing to consider with that long-term thinking is, you kind of get chained in to these products because once you take out a loan, it's actually kind of hard to get out of the loan.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And if you decide to do that at some point, you may need to sell Bitcoin to do that. I mean, it's depending on how much of a loan you take out, you may not have like enough income to
right.
sustain that. And so it's kind of like I said, it's like a chain because you are tied into these loans and they're hard to get out of.
Mhm.
I agree.
And
Much
here's like
easier to just,
potentially,
yeah.
go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say it's easier to just buy Bitcoin and hold on to it.
And spend it and replace it. I'll
Spend
add
and
one
replace.
point
Yeah.
to the argument for just like spending your Bitcoin. Adam, as you said, it's like when you're spending your Bitcoin, you're giving it to other Bitcoiners that run businesses, you're going to have ideological alignment, but also, and Ben Justman, Peony Lane, the wine guy, talks about this. When you're asking Bitcoiners to give up their Bitcoin for your product or your service, the expectation that you're going to deliver a superior product or service is very high.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have to, you're not going to be able to sell, cheap shit made in China to a Bitcoiner and expect them to be a returning customer. You might get them once, you won't get them again, because they're just not going to want to part with it. So it demands these providers to put a great product out there. And I love that because it's a return to like, you know, I don't know, maybe eventually, if we actually get on like a Bitcoin standard, or when that happens, we'll make refrigerators that actually last for like 60 fucking years. Excuse my language again, instead of 5 years. And that's or you have to replace your microwave every 2 years.
You're cooking with a microwave, dude? Throw
I
that
don't,
shit out.
yeah, maybe I should have said toaster.
There
Toaster.
you go.
Yeah,
Toaster's
even
okay.
even my air fryer is glass. I got a glass air fryer. I got no Teflon. I'm a no Teflon kind of guy. I don't want to nuke any of my nutrients out of my food. But anyway, I just
Yeah.
I'll add the last point there. I do want to allocate some time here to hear how we feel about Kami Mamdani winning. Do we like it or do we?
No, dude. No,
I haven't
you
heard
can't
that term
root for
before. I
this.
love that.
I just thought of it. Someone's had to have used it though. It's too perfect, right?
You
Kami Mam.
can't root for this. This is not good. It's not good for America. It's not good for the people. You're not going to have a government run grocery store. And all the promises that he made on the trail, I believe, he's not going to fulfill.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to fulfill anything. My perspective is that I mean I see a lot of arguments for this being like a broken money issue and then people being
Sure.
disillusioned in New York. I think that's a part of it. I think it's multivariate, but first
It's
and
true
foremost,
everywhere, though.
it's true everywhere. But you can kind of like take it from a couple different angles. But it's a demographic problem because for the last 50 years, right, a little before we got off the gold standard, America has been importing a new delegate into America and into New York City. So if you look at the demographics, you can clearly see why these people from other third world countries will be voting for someone that looks like them, talks like them. They have no familiarity with, capitalistic systems. And then you have disillusioned young people that can't afford a home, and that sucks. But it is interesting that it kind of coincides with, this mass immigration against the people's will, because Americans have always polled and voted against it, but they keep doing it, these elites. But that it coincides with us getting off the gold standard. And because at that point, once you're off the gold standard, once you're off our hard money system, and we're just printing money out of thin air, then you start to look at your people as interchangeable economic units, right? And you don't care about your culture, you don't care about, the nuclear family, you don't care about someone building an America that they're thinking about their, future great grandchildren living in. And you're just like, we need more money because corporations need to make more.
Corporations bad.
Yeah, we need
Dude,
to get, people in here just to eat more fast food and to do our yard work and all this stuff. So I think it's a money issue, but it's like it's multivariate and
it's an intelligence issue. So you got Mondani, Adams, de Blasio, Cuomo. I mean, come on. They've been voting in all kinds of politicians
yeah.
that are not good, you know? I mean, when was the last time they had a good mayor? There was like 5 minutes, 5 minutes after 9/11,
Yeah.
and that was it. I mean, I think it's an intelligence issue. It's people who want free stuff. Give me the free stuff that everybody else has, you know?
Well, let me take from
Yeah,
other people that are the producers.
Well, that's what I mean.
Give me the free stuff. And so
Give me the
what's going
stuff.
to happen? People are going to leave New York.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. You're going to have some people. Yeah, but I also think that it's going to be, goodness, he said he's going to go and put ICE agents in jail. Good luck putting federal agents in jail. That'll be, I mean, goodness, I don't know. That thing is just it's a dumpster fire. It's sad. It's America's, one of America's most beautiful cities, just absolutely in the toilet.
it is sad. I'm not going to say I'm surprised.
No,
I'm not going to say I'm surprised that it happened. I am surprised at how quickly it happened.
Hmm.
Both from a, let's just say, like, fiscal perspective. So you're essentially electing a democratic socialist to the financial capital of the world, New York City, right?
right.
Um, so that's interesting, right? Very, the heart of capitalism of planet Earth is now democratically socialist.
Communist,
Uh,
dude. Not even socialist. I mean,
I'm yeah,
he's
I'm
really
being very
communist.
conservative in my wording just because I know, people are going to make any argument they can, but it is
He's a communist.
essentially just communism,
Yeah.
right? And what it really is it's a city of people that have been perpetually robbed from electing a robber
Hmm.
Right.
so that they can try to steal it back. That's what they think they're doing, right? They want somebody to rob from everybody else what they think that they're owed.
Hmm.
And that's what communism is. The other interesting thing is it's been pointed out, and didn't he make some, at least insensitive comments about like 9/11 in the past? Am I making that up?
No, you're not making that
No,
up.
his dad
Okay.
is also pretty anti-American on video.
Yeah, so it's just, it's like
He
it's
comes from that.
surprising that this happened so fast and people forgot,
They forgot, dude. They forgot.
but again, I think it was really just a matter
I
of
think they
time that this
forgot.
was
I
going to
think they
happen.
got ethnically cleansed from New York, the people that actually cared about it. And I think they got pushed out. And
Maybe.
it's,
Maybe.
well, I mean, look at the demographic charts. It's
Yeah.
pretty clear. I know I can get a little touchy, but it's the truth,
Mm.
And
No, yeah, yeah.
it's a cultural Marxism. This is what we're witnessing right now, and it's like a disease, and it's completely identitarian. It's not even, in my opinion, completely ideological, like people voting for communism or capitalism. It's just yeah, it's all about
I
identity.
agree with you. And I think what that stems from is a lack of skin in the game. And, from a generational perspective,
Yeah.
you have a lot of members of the political class, and this also extends down to the voters too. You have people that aren't in it for the long run. They're not really invested in America, right?
Hmm.
And you have politicians that are making really short-term decisions that are going to affect us and to our generations to come, and voters that are putting them into office.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, just the demographics, right? That plays a huge part. You get, I'm all for like legal immigration. If you want to adopt American values, and promote that and foster that environment. And there are plenty of those people that exist.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
unfortunately, they're outnumbered by the people that are just coming over and trying to, get their share.
Yeah.
They want the handouts, and that's
Hmm.
essentially America's fault. We enabled that.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
So
Speaking of fair share, let's stack sats because I got a jet in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I shouldn't even brought it up because we could talk about that for another, at least I could
Heavy
for an
topic,
hour.
dude. Welcome to the lighter side of the stack show. All right,
I mean, I love it, man. I love this stuff.
I'm doing my $21 weekly buy off strike.
I'm doing.
Buying it at 100. Dude,
What
this
are you
is
doing?
like I'm buying $21 at 100,000.
Oh, I thought you said you were buying 100 worth. So
No, I'm not. I'm not
I
rolling.
got $21. I'll match you, Greer, here on strike.
got 21 on River.
Nice. Make it rain. There it goes.
Mm.
Here we go, baby.
Dude, this is fantastic. I mean, everybody had me convinced October and Moonvember and whatever December is, Pumpcember,
Well,
but
we've got a few more minutes left. So,
we're just chilling at the
any last
hundreds.
predictions of the price? What do we think about November? Are we going up? We going down? We staying around?
Well, I'm on record here, so I've already made the commitment that if we hit $10 million in November, I'm going to sell some of my Bitcoin, just a little bit.
Just a
10
little.
million. 10 million.
I'm
Dude,
not joking. Somebody actually took that. I put that tweet out there, and somebody actually thought I was being serious, and they tried making fun of me.
that's awesome.
That's like the ultimate troll.
Yeah.
Remind me of this tweet on November 30th.
Hey, it's not off the table, right? I'll take it.
Oh man, I
It's
don't
so
know.
great. I think we're going to be just ranging in between 98 and 105 all month. I think it'll be a month of pain.
Yeah, it feels that way to me too, which is why I think it's going to do something different. I think we're going up violently.
Of course you do, dude. You got that $250,000 target.
I was the conservative target earlier in the year. You're saying 400 something, weren't you, Greer?
I was.
Yeah.
I was.
I was 250 all year long, and I might be off, but I've got a ways to make up for it, so I can't turn bearish now.
I'm not bearish. I'm bearish on the dollar price, but I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. I mean, if we get a month to stack at this level, like it would be, I'll have almost 40% more than I would have.
It's a good way to look at it. Yeah, we should all have
Beautiful.
sticks around here. Yeah.
Buying the same amount, I get 40% more sats.
Hmm. Well, all right, gentlemen, let's wrap it up. I know Greer has got to get out of here, but Adam, where can people find you on the socials?
If you dare, I'm at Adam Simecka on the X, Twitter. If you're interested in the wallet stuff, it's at Manna Bitcoin.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Thanks for joining us. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you're
Good to
listening,
have you on.
good to have you on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Keep us posted about the announcement coming up. We'll get that slotted in for you.
We
All right,
won't
I'll hold
tell
you to
anyone
it.
about it.
We'll do it
It's
on a
under
different day too, if we have to do it on a different
Yeah.
date, and we can record it, beforehand and drop it when you're ready to drop it. We'll
We
plan.
could do that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Cool.
under embargo, so don't say anything, Phil.
I know
It's
that. I was telling Greer, I was like, we won't get into the PR talk, but yeah, hey, listen, if you're a listener, if you listened today, I hope that you stacked with us. If you haven't, you definitely should, because the purpose of this podcast is to end up with more sats than you did when you started. That's what it's all about. Um, Let us know if you disagree with anything that we said. Make a comment, leave a voice memo, tell us why we're brilliant or retarded, or anywhere on that spectrum, probably leaning more toward retarded. But yeah, I would love to hear from you. And
send
thanks.
in the voice DMs.
Send the voice DMs. That's the most important thing.
That is.
Please do that. And yeah, Adam, thanks again for joining us, brother. It's been great.
Thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you.
All
Take
right.
care.
We'll see
All right,
you.
dudes.
Peace.
See ya.